preference is Indian Foreign Services, and our next in line is in the Indian Audits and Account Services.
Okay.
So while IAAS I'll get for sure, but there are some borderline chance that I might get IFS. So I'm hoping that by any of these two services, I'm able to serve my nation the best way I can.
Can we ask why is it that you chose Indian Foreign Service? Is there any person who is a role model for you? Dear enlightened viewers of Jana Kannada TV, it's really a matter of great pleasure and pride for all of us because we are sitting with a successfully cleared IAS aspirant who is not an aspirant now. She is already qualified into IAS services. She is Dr. Ishika Singh from the city of Hubli. Many people think that it is very difficult for people in Tier 2, Tier 3 cities to get into the civil services, but she is an example. She has cleared it in the first attempt itself and has secured the 206th rank. In fact, in the interview, she stood second to all India is what we got to know. So, congratulations, Dr. Ishika Singh.
Thank you so much.
What would you like to say for the aspirants, who would like to compete in the civil service examination, especially from Tier 2, Tier 3 cities?
I would say that the UPSC Civil Services examination, the journey is tough, no matter where we are from.
Sure.
And that is why three tenets are basic importance are necessary, mandatory for the exam clearance. One is hard work along with smart work, because no matter how hard working we are in this exam with such a vast syllabus, unless we work smartly, I don't think it will be easy for anyone to clear the exam. Secondly, dedication and the motivation for entering into the services. Everyone might have different motivation to enter. So it's a personal thing, but I guess the dedication that is required is necessary. And that should be combined with consistency. Reading for 12 hours today and then just reading for 2 hours and giving up the next day is not a good thing for this preparation. It's a marathon. So even if you get 4 to 5 hours daily, dedicate that much of time to your studies. And basically with time you can increase the hours based on your convenience and the time that you are able to get. Because many people are into jobs, they cannot give 12 hours like a full-time preparation person can do. So no problem, but whatever we dedicate, we have to dedicate it consistently. After saying that, I would say that breaks are also important. Please do take breaks. Other than that, in the civil services examination, I followed a basic rule hearing from other toppers, and I would suggest it to others too, that restrict your resources. It was my rule that whatever subject I read, it will be only through one book. I'll add new facts or new materials into it in a piece of paper or through sticky notes, but not more than a book for each subject. And that's what I followed throughout my journey. And I guess maybe that was one of the important reasons why I could finish the syllabus in a year and clear the exam in first attempt. Because I didn't go around reading 10 books one time, and should focus on reading the same book 10 times. So the retention increases. Along with that, I would also suggest the aspirants to go through whatever they read multiple times, because there are many factual questions. Revision is a must. I remember revising 3 times before prelims and 3 times again for mains. So revision is important. And you have to test your revision with the test series. Be it online or offline, both are equally effective. If you have the self-control in you, online test series will also be equally efficacious. So I think these few things are necessary in UPSC Civil Services examination. And I am a living example that if I can clear it in first attempt and with 1 year of preparation, anyone in this world can do. So I wish the best to all the aspirants.
And Dr. Ishika Singh, what do you have to say about the support from your family? Because family is always the source of strength for any candidates who is preparing for this kind of examinations. So what do you have to say about your family support?
My family, my parents especially, have been very much supportive of me since my school days, be it from the smallest things like the subject that I have to choose to the largest things as transitioning from medical field to civil services. Because until final year I had no plans of UPSC exam. I wanted to continue in the field of medicine. I had planned everything out for
So it's
myself.
not that it's your childhood dream or something like that. You
No,
never thought
no,
of this,
no. I never
really?
actually have dreams about my career.
Okay.
I just aim for something and I try to do it.
Right.
And that's why UPSC was never my dream before.
Yeah.
But once my grandfather, my father's uncle, he motivated me, gave the idea and motivated me about the civil services exam. And I guess that was the impulse that he provided.
Right.
And then after that, my parents asked me to take some time to think for myself. And once I decided that I have to take the civil services exam, there was no question from them other than what do you want to do next, what coaching you want to take. When I demanded going to Delhi, they went to Delhi and had a look at stuff. And when they thought that it might not be suitable for me with the climate and the food habit, everything, I decided to stay at home, and they provided everything possible. Anything that I demanded, it was provided to me within one say. And 100% of times, and with the maximum intensity possible, the support was there, unwavering, unconditional support. I had frustrations during preparation. I vented out on them. No complaints at that time too. And even after mains, when we had to decide what to do for interview, they did not think twice. Immediately the tickets were booked. My mom took me. Both of us stay in Delhi so that I don't face any health issue with the changing climate, weather and everything. So I can say that I am the biggest example of what a parent support can do and how can it help you to help one succeed. Because I can give more than half of. I agree that my hard work is also credible, but more than half of what I have achieved in my success throughout my life till now, more than half, at least 70 to 80%, I can give it to them for sure. And my grandfather,
who is the one who saw that potential
in me,
and inspired you to take up the civil service examination.
Yes.
And it was when he said, you thought, let's take it a try. Let's give it out a try. Right?
True.
Yeah.
So I think my family and my brother, my younger one, he was always there to listen to me, to hear me out. And
Your younger brother is currently studying MBBS, right?
Yes.
Any
he's
plans for him to go for civil services?
No, he wants to join the defense forces.
Oh, good.
So that's his dream since the beginning.
Okay.
So we are hoping for that too.
Okay.
But otherwise, just like my parents have supported me, they're always ready to support him. So I guess we have been very privileged and fortunate that I have parents like them.
Good to know that your brother wants to dedicate himself in the defense services to serve the country, and you want to be in the civil services and dedicate yourself for the services of the nation, right? So what a family, right? It's a source of inspiration for others to get into services despite doing MBBS, because normally a candidate who does MBBS hardly thinks about civil services, because these days you have a fantastic career lined out before you if you do specialization in post-graduation. Either you can get into different hospitals in abroad, make a lot of money or wealth, but you chose to serve the country. What inspired you? Of course, your grandfather did inspire you, but other than that?
Actually, it's one thing said by my grandfather, that if when you're a doctor, you surely serve the patient. Both are different forms of public service. But with your ability, if you're a doctor, you look at one patient at a time. You change the life of one patient at a time, and will be mostly with respect to the health of the person, physical health mostly. But if you join the civil services, be it as an IAS or an IFS, you have the chance to bring larger scale impact on the entire country to the maximum extent. And with your abilities, you can do that. You have the potential to do that. And even I felt that if I have the chance and I am given the opportunity to serve the country in such a large scale, then I'll surely have to take it. And that was a kind of motivating factor for me to get into the civil services.
In fact, your grandfather is also preparing you by saying that just in case if a question were to be asked in the interview about this, you already prepared. He prepared you for that, right? Because it's so logically right. As a doctor, you can only serve a person at a time. But as a civil servant, you can serve plenty of people, right? So that's how the strength of the family becomes much more important for the preparation.
My first preference is Indian Foreign Services, and our next in line is in the Indian Audits and Account Services.
Okay.
So while IAAS I'll get for sure, but there are some borderline chance that I might get IFS. So I'm hoping that by any of these two services, I'm able to serve my nation the best way I can.
Can we ask why is it that you chose Indian Foreign Service? Is there any person who is a role model for you?
Actually, when I started my civil services examination, Honorable External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar sir was a huge talk at that time.
Correct.
Even today he is.
Even today, yeah.
And I can say that when I started studying for the exam, and I developed interest in diplomacy and international relations, and the rise of India's position in the geopolitical arena,
And also the India's image. no?
image in the world. S. Jaishankar sir's role has also been of great importance in it, and I felt at that time that I could also be an instrumental part, and it would be a matter of pride for me if I am a part of India's rise in such position, and that is why IFS was the first choice for me since the very beginning.
Yeah. So we expect you to be the next, foreign secretary joining the services, in our country. So anything else that you would like to say to the audience?
I would say that I understand the civil services journey stuff, as I've said before, and there might be many ups and downs, but with one's own efforts, consistent efforts, and with unwavering support of the family, one can clear the exam. I can be a living example of it, and there's always scope for improvement, and there's always a scope of success amidst the failure. So with all the dedication, you can clear any exam in this world, not just civil services exam, and I wish the best to all the aspirants.
Okay, once again, thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
For your valuable time, and we wish you all the best in your endeavor, in your career
Thank you
ahead.
so much.
Thank you so much.